Hi everybody, this is Andrew from T is for Tech, and today I am doing an unboxing and a review of this wireless IP camera from A-Zone. It's A-Zone, and they sell a lot of cameras and other sorts of security products on Amazon. So I will link to this in the description below if you want to take a look at it. And it's basically a high def, so HD 1080p Wi-Fi camera that you can use for security around your home, baby monitoring, pet monitoring, all sorts of things, right? Now, what's nice about this one is that it is HD. It features two-way audio. They have a mechanism for cloud storage with, we'll kind of take a look at what that means. You know, it's encrypted, has day-night ability, so night vision with infrared, motion detection, and it's IP66 certified waterproof. So if you want to have this outside and use this as an outdoor camera, you don't have to worry about the weather and that sort of thing. And so we'll kind of hit some of those specs a little bit more when I get to my thoughts and review portion at the end of this video. So right now we're just going to do an unboxing. And at my house, I do have a Synology network attached storage that has their Security Center software running on it, and I have a couple other cameras that I run through that setup, and I'm going to see if this will also work with that. I'm not quite sure at the moment if it will, but those cameras are FOSCAM cameras, and those have worked pretty well also over the years, and they're outdoor rated cameras, and I have a couple of them installed. But I'm interested to see if this one will kind of work with that existing infrastructure in my home and have the ability to add another camera, which I'm going to set up outside kind of facing towards my backyard, because that's one of the areas where I don't have a camera today and I want to install one. So we're going to test out this one. I mean, for this video and this review, I'm not going to have it set up for that, but I'll do some testing inside and that sort of thing. So right away you open this up and you'll see there's some mounting things, a screwdriver, some screws, screw mounts for like drywall. There's a template for if you're going to drill holes in something, right, for mounting it. And it looks like a wireless antenna in here. And basically what do you get in the box besides that is obviously a power adapter. So this is just your typical kind of those power plugs with the center post sort of thing. And this looks pretty long. One of the problems I usually have though with outdoor stuff, because I had with my other cameras, is I had to extend these and kind of run longer cables to them. So we'll have to see how that works out here. Looks like you get some sort of little hex wrench, which is kind of interesting. So I'm assuming that this is for attaching something or screwing something in. And then you get the actual camera itself. So, okay, yeah, so that hex wrench is for adjusting all these kind of brackets, or the swivel mechanism. So that takes this kind of little hex bolt instead of a typical screwdriver, so you can kind of do this. So if I just kind of loosen this up so we can see. So this is actually pretty well made. This is feels like some sort of aluminum metal sort of thing. It's kind of got a white paint kind of job on it. And there's a silverish, I think that's metal also. And then here's the actual camera itself. So you can see looks like some IR illuminators and some other sensors and that sort of thing on the front, as well as the camera lens itself. And then it looks like a speaker here on the bottom and some other little trap door sort of thing. I'm assuming that that's for like SD card, because this does support up to a 64 gigabyte SD card on the camera itself. So if you want to do local recording, you can do that. And there's a couple different things here. So you can, sorry, let me just get this focused. So you can kind of move this up and down, and then you could probably also swivel this so you can turn the camera basically to be able to mount on, you know, like a wall like this, or you want to mount it above or below, or, you know, kind of turn it all around. And then also has this, the antenna connection for the Wi-Fi. And then you have just basically a single cord that you'll have to run through something if you're mounting this outside, which has the power plug, you know, the other end of the power adapter, and it looks like a little waterproof cap with like a reset button or something on there. So we'll have to take a look at that as well. But that's nice. So this is actually pretty small. So if you had to drill a hole through something to mount this, if you were mounting this on the outside of your house or on the outside of, I might do it on my shed. So I would mount this on the outside, just drill a hole that can fit this cable through, and then you can plug the you know, the other end on the inside. So that's probably how I would set this up. So yeah, this, you know, seems pretty well made for what it is. So we'll just, maybe I'll loosen this a little bit, and you can see, yeah, so see here, you can turn this, and you can turn this, so you should be able to kind of get this set up pretty decently, you know, if you're going to mount it somewhere. So yeah, so this has, I believe, 115-degree field of view, which is pretty wide. If you think about it, it's, you know, a little bit wider than a 90 degrees, so you should be able to see, you know, pretty far out in front of the camera, right? So if you said this is 90 and you can see that, so it's a pretty wide angle. So this does have an app that you can download. So what I'll probably do is kind of set this thing up, and maybe then I'll have the app on my computer or on my phone and mirror that on my computer, so I can kind of walk through the setup and all of that, and we can do some testing of this and kind of see how that will work out. And then subsequently I'll kind of mount this in my house and, you know, get that all set up, and I might come back and update this review if I run into any issues with it. But this review is really kind of unboxing this thing, and then we'll go through the setup aspects of it and just kind of see how it works, and, you know, kind of examine some of the video quality and those sorts of things, and then kind of go from there. So right now what I'm going to do is just kind of plug this in, download the app, and then I'll see on the computer, and we'll kind of talk through some of the other aspects of getting this thing up and running. So, okay, so what I'm doing here now is I browsed and I found this app, and this app for the AZone camera is called Yi IoT. So I'm assuming that's Yi Technologies Inc. is the company that, or I don't know if it's a sub brand of AZone or if this is just the app that they use to control the camera, but this is what it is. So you can, so let's go ahead and install this. So I'm doing this on my OnePlus 7 Pro, and so this is the app. So basically install the app first. And if you hear a dinging noise in the background, that's the camera making noise. So, okay, so we'll go through the setup here. So sorry, I was doing the wrong thing. So sign up, Andrew, T is for tech.net. Okay, so sign up. Okay, so it's going to send an activation link. So let's, okay, so that worked. Okay, sign in. Okay, whatever. So I finally got in. So it talks about new UI design. This is basically talking about the app here, real-time push notifications, cloud service, etc. Allow, yes. Tap on add camera. So I'm going to add a camera. Place the camera close to the router before you start setup. Okay, okay. All right, so I'm going to add the camera, maybe. I heard a double dip, double bip. Okay, so it does not support 5 gigahertz wireless, so it only does support 2.4. So we'll see. So my router does support both, and it does the dual band. So
please face the QR code towards the camera lens and wait for it to scan. Connecting to Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is connected.
okay, that's really annoying. Okay, so that had to be.
Pairing is successful. You can start using your camera Pairing now. Is successful. You can start using your camera now.
Okay, I don't know if you heard all of that, but that was kind of crazy. So basically, you use the app, you enter your wireless. I mean, it detects your wireless network. You enter your password. It generates a QR code. You give the QR code in front of the camera reads it, gets the information, connects to the network, basically. But there was a lot of talking going on. The camera's talking, the app's talking, etc. So I'm just leaving this as is. Okay, so I'm going to call it smart camera. Where is it? I'll say it's in my office, and save. So purchase cloud subscription. So now this is, I'm not going to do this, but basically this is if you want to store your camera footage in the cloud, and if it gets triggered by like motion sensing and all that, they have some sort of cloud program. I'll link to that in the description for you to read more about, but I'm just going to use the app itself to deal with the camera, and then I'm also going to try to figure out if I can hook it up with my Synology security station. So I'm just going to say start using, and it says office, and cameras. Does this work? So it's connecting. Yeah, so it is connected. Camera settings. It's going through a bunch of stuff. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so that's the camera as it's set up here. So if I go and I go move this, you can see. So here I was just moving the camera around, and obviously you couldn't hear me talking because I was not by the microphone. But here I was just kind of pointing at the lights and kind of moving it around and just viewing it through the app itself. So that's kind of what was going on there. Okay, so as you can see, the camera is working. Let's kind of look into the camera settings here. So you can change the name. You can, it looks like if you want to, oh, that's cool. So it can work with Alexa. So if you have an Alexa, the Alexa show, it looks like it can connect to that. You can power it on and off. I guess looks like probably if you want to set a timer to do it. There's smart detection settings, motion sensing, motion detection, sound alerts. There's the cloud information. So I can start recording from here as well. I don't have an SD card in there, so I don't know what it's doing when you do the recording. I guess it just records to the camera or to the phone that you're looking at it with. Some settings and all that stuff, I guess. So, okay, so you can change the HD or SD, standard definition, high definition. Hello? Hello? Yeah, so if you hold that. Okay. All right, so that's. Well, that's crazy. A little bit of a echoing thing going on there. All right, so that's basically it. So settings and all that. So now info. So it has an IP address on my network, connectivity. So you can also change things like the status light on it if you want to rotate the image. If you want to turn on the microphone to detect sound. Some other settings here. So I got to like kind of go through some of these settings. But I was wondering if this actually works as has a streaming endpoint on it at the IP address so that I can stream it to my other clouds security system, because this security system requires like an HTTPS or a web endpoint where then I can kind of plug it in and then it can connect and then do the like kind of stream the actual stuff. So I wonder, enable camera stream. Well, maybe that won't work. So maybe the only thing I can do is actually use this as a as a camera. Use the app itself. So you can set up alerts, I guess. There's the clouds, not subscribed. Well, I guess that's it. And that's it for this review, or for this part of the review. I'm going to jump over and I'll do a little bit more research on this and we'll finish up the video. So I played a little bit more with this after I did that kind of stumbling through the app sort of thing. And basically it works pretty well, but it's constrained to the app as far as I'm aware. So my idea of using it with my existing security camera setup through the Synology disk station does not work in this case, which I mean, I guess is fine. You just need to use the app to control the camera then. So if you have a scenario where you just want to add a camera to your house or a couple cameras of the same brand, the app that would be fine for that, right? Where it's kind of an issue for me in this case is that I have a mixture of different types of cameras, and I kind of wanted to centralize the interface all with the Synology disk station, but it doesn't look like that's going to work because I don't think this camera supports the streaming protocol that I need to have in order to make that work. But again, that's not really necessarily a ding against the camera because it does have the app, and that's all it really was, kind of advertised on Amazon as. But I was hoping that it had some additional capability that it does not. So that's my fault, I guess, for kind of assuming that it would work or assuming that it had a feature that it obviously does not. But all in all, I think this is a pretty good camera. The quality seems to be pretty good from a streaming perspective. I did play around a little bit with the SD card in there and kind of setting that up. And if it does do recording, you can review those recordings in the app from the camera itself. So you don't necessarily need the cloud service in order to review prior recorded videos, as long as you have that SD card installed. And overall, I think for the price, it's a pretty good value. And this is just a little bit of video that I was testing. I had it kind of up close to my front of my house just to see if what it looked like videotaping my front driveway. So just a little bit of sample video. I think it looks pretty good, generally speaking, and would suffice in a lot of scenarios where you want to kind of watch your house or outdoors, indoors, that sort of thing. So this is Andrew from TS for Tech. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.